meeting here, if we could get it by email or something, that would be helpful. Thank you.
Sorry about that, Sharon. I didn't mean to make that noise.
I didn't even notice.
Oh, everybody else did. Okay, so I kind of looked at, the 5-year plan, and of course I had to consider what we have in place now, especially in the buildings other than this building, and how to equitably get us all to the same place as quickly as possible without really hurting, without taking a big chunk of change, kind of spreading things out. And this is the draft plan. Let's see if this will work from that far away, which looks like it's going to. So basically, you have the numbers, and it ends up to be between $181,000 to $207,000 per year in capital spending for the next 5 years. There's extra copies there if you guys would like to. And basically, these are the conventions that I went under to decide when and where and how much is going to be capitalized and replaced over the 5 years. And the Chromebooks that we currently have handed out to the students, we figure have about a 3-year life in the one-to-one piece of it, because they do get handled, carried around, transported a lot. From there, after the students have the one-to-one, we would replace them and bring them, redeploy them into the other schools where they'd be safely in carts and they're not handled as much, and so they have a longer life in the carts. And they would be geared mostly for the middle school and elementary school park testing and any other uses after, because they're great for park testing. The staff laptops we consider to have about a 4 to 5 year life. Some of them that we have, the staff have, are over 10 years old, that we've been putting in new memory, we've been upgrading them, but they are at the end of their life. And at the time that they were bought 10 years ago, they were probably around $2,200 per laptop. Now we can get a comparable laptop for $600 or $700. So we feel like we should be replacing these more often, and it's a lot more affordable to do it now. Interactive whiteboards, some of them, as you know, are pretty old in the other schools. Each school has a different technology focused on. Chatham Elementary smart boards, the Eno boards were in Harwich Elementary School, still are. The middle school is primarily Promethean boards, and as you know, the new high school is interactive projectors, which is definitely the way to go in every way, shape, and form. So they have about an 8-year life, if that, and it's mostly we had to pay for the replacement of the bulbs. So with that, we figure we could replace them every 8 years. That's part of the conventional thinking with the plan. And computer labs and staff desktops have about a 5 to 6 year life, because the desktops are not being moved around, so they seem to last longer, of course, than the laptops would. So if we look at that, using those conventions, you can't really see what that is up there. But it's on your plan, it kind of shows each year, starting next year, what would be replaced and the approximate cost. And it ends up being, as you can see in the bottom, about $200,000 per year. And it's adjustable. And there are network rebuilding considerations also in the 5-year plan, updating the wireless. The wireless at Chatham Middle School building, Chatham Middle School High School building, was done over, I think it was 9 years old at this point, and it's not capable to handle what we are doing in the future, what we're doing now. It's struggling at this point. So we have to start thinking about getting back into the older schools' networks and replacing those. Now, this whole plan is based upon us buying everything outright. But I think in the last few years, we see that the leasing programs are definitely an option that we should start looking closer into. So I kind of just quickly looked at a lease option. And if we're going to lease anything, I would recommend going with the staff laptops, because it's the one piece of the technology that doesn't have, it has the shortest life. So probably the best way to go. So if you if we were buying these 80 laptops like I suggested for next year for the elementary school staff, all the teachers, at about $725 a unit, with 80 units, we'd be paying $58,000. If we went the lease option of that, and this is just, I looked at a couple of companies, this is an estimate, they say it's about $22 per month per laptop for 12 months. And so that would be about $21,000 a year, and we paid it for 3 years. After that 3 years, we'd be able to buy them for $1 each. So that's an option. Instead of spending $58,000 next year, let's say we need to work on this and we can't quite cover this, we may want to go the lease option and go from 58 to 21,000. So it's under, I think we should consider it. And any questions? Yes.
On
Sharon.
the lease option,
Yes.
when do they take them back, or do they take care of them every year, so?
Well, what
it takes
happens
off
with the
staff?
lease option, it's a good question. It would be under the same terms of the option if you bought it. You have a 3-year warranty, so it would be that same warranty situation. We'd have to maintain them, but they would take care of them under the same warranty, so they would replace them if they were broken or, the other thing is, if it was accidental, if it was misuse, that would be another situation, but it would be covered under a maintenance lease, so, yes.
What do you see the advantage of leasing over buying?
Instead of a $58,000 outlay, it's $22,000 so you know that you're gonna be paying $21,000 a year, every year, and every 3 years, teachers get brand new laptops. So you build that into your operating budget, I guess, it would be.
Okay, thank you.
So that would be a set amount, instead of 58,000 every 3 to 5 years, it'd be 21 every year, and everybody always have up-to-date equipment. So that's
Brian.
that's the thing.
Did you say that when you purchase them for $725 each, you can also get them with a 3-year warranty?
Yes,
I've never seen a 3-year warranty on a
Yeah.
laptop. That's good to hear.
yeah, everything that we purchase now, they have to price it with a 3-year warranty. Everything I purchase is included.
So, but technically, the cost is greater for the lease
Yes, it is,
over that
because you're
term.
paying for the financing.
You're paying to spread out your payments.
Right, right.
Yes, it is. It's like, what, $3,000 or $4,000 more?
Right.
Debbie, a question, go back to slide 1, but just, the Chromebooks are presently in the hands of the students at the high school,
That is correct.
and you estimate they have a 3-year life when it's one-on-one?
We want to be able to hopefully give those students 3 to 4 years
Okay,
with
that
their
was-
Chromebook.
in
Then
the
they
hopes
would
that a
get-
9th grader would keep that book for 4 years to graduate?
Yes. 3 to 4 years,
Okay, that answers my question.
yes.
If it was a solid 3, it'd be difficult. That would mean juniors would have to be given. My follow-up on that is the 8th grade doesn't figure in on that,
Yes, it does.
so they're also given Chromebooks.
Yes,
So-
yes, they do.
So we've talked about sort of a rotation, so the students that are currently 7th grade would come in and get year-old Chromebooks from seniors, and then they would use those another year, they would be on the 3rd year, and then on that 4th year, we would
Give them.
refresh.
Recycle
They would
Yep.
get fresh. So it ends up that every student in 5 years eventually gets a brand-new Chromebook in their hand.
The other thing to keep in mind is that when those Chromebooks are being refreshed, because we've bought those, then those Chromebooks are now moving down into the system. So at the moment in the elementary schools, we have the netbooks that our high school students had been using are in little stations around the classrooms, and those netbooks would be swapped out with 3-year-old Chromebooks. And then we'd have fleets of these Chromebooks to be able to use for park testing, and so we would cycle those back into the system, and maybe they'd be functional for another 3 years before they really become obsolete, not able to run the latest software. So you can still be able to use them beyond that 3.
Brian?
I know that within the last couple of years, you presented a proposal for purchasing tablets. Did that ever end up happening?
Yes.
So what are those used for at this
The
point?
tablets have been redeployed into the middle school. We bought 2 carts. They're being tested into a couple of classrooms, probably starting January. So we brought the Samsungs. A few people have them. The principal, Brian Daniels, is trying one out. So they're going to go to the middle school students in carts to go into certain areas it's going to be a mobile cart of 2 tablet mobile carts. And what's great is that there's actually a teacher offering tablets in the classroom, and a lot of the teachers are taking the class in the district, and they're very excited about, now they know how to use them, so they're very excited about trying the tablets in the classrooms. And they're great for certain things. We found they're really great for certain apps. They're great for searching on the web, but they're not good for some productivity things like writing papers. They don't work in Excel spreadsheets. They don't work as well in that area. So there's a place for them, but it wasn't, the place we hoped it was going to be.
It's the great tablet, computer debate.
Right, sure.
So you'll see
Chromebooks didn't exist when the tablet idea came out, I believe.
Right. They didn't
Not as
exist.
powerful.
They didn't have the ability that they have now. They were
Yeah.
pretty junky.
Right.
But these HP 14-inch tablets are beautiful. They've got all the USB ports. They can do word processing. They can do Excel. Yeah, they're in the Google world. And the park testing seemed to work best on all the things we tried. The Chromebooks were definitely the best way for park testing.
And they can do that for a fraction of the cost of an iPad.
Yeah,
They're
are
about,
we using
$300.
Are we using the Google apps, which are free, as opposed to like the Microsoft type apps? or-
Yes. Yeah, well, that's what the students are using, yes.
Yeah, good.
And we still own Office. We still own the product. And it's still used throughout the district, but not in the Chromebooks.
That's a good plan.
Any further questions for Deb? Nance?
So basically, the choice between doing the lease option and the buy outright, if you had to pick one with money not being an option, would you go with the lease because of the refreshing every 3 years?
For the staff laptops, yes, I would, because they're refreshing every 3. It's been really difficult for the staff and for technology staff to be able to keep these laptops running. We're updating them all with Windows 7, we're putting in memory, and you can ask the teachers that, except for the high school teachers here, the laptops are going to struggle for them.
The high school got new laptops this
Yes,
year.
they did, and they love them.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we tried to do on this 5-year look is to have it be a fairly stable amount of technology. So it's roughly $200,000 of infusion of technology to have us keep, the district at a strong place. And I think for a district of this size, that you need to be looking at that beyond 5 years. That if you're not putting in $200,000 a year towards your technology is going $200,000 obsolete. It's at some point you're going to have to just have a bigger infusion to get you
Yeah.
back to
That's when you
where
start
you
throwing
need
$1
to be.
million every 5 years, which is like scary for everybody.
In principle, I would think that the selectmen and the finance committee in principle should support something like this, because some years ago, the towns, only speaking on behalf of, for Harwich, Harwich used to have an article every year to purchase like police cars. And they started to realize that because they used them so constantly, that they were a constant purchase. So they know now that is part of their budget, and the town is in tune with there are certain things that might seem like a capital purchase, to be purchased as occasionally when you need them, but in reality, it's the constant yearly need for upgrading. So at least the principle, apart from the money, but at least the principle should be agreeable to the town fathers.
And, so to do some foreshadowing here, this roughly $200,000 a year is above and beyond what we've been carrying in the FY15 budget. So when we talk about the level service budget that we're working on presenting for FY16, this technology is outside of that. That's, that's sort of a layer on. But again, as we go into Harwich to talk about a 5-year plan, here's a way to kind of look at what the district needs, where it needs it, and to try to spread it out thoughtfully over 5 years.
Which is what they want us to do.
Sharon?
Deb, do you have a slide for this right here?
I do, and you know what, I'll print you a bigger copy.
And we
No,
have.
no, no,
we
I
have
just
another
was
one
gonna
coming
ask
up.
a question, but I'll wait till you present for that.
Oh, she has-
I did,
Okay, okay,
It's
so the
so
timing's
small.
now for this. Okay, so my question on this spreadsheet is that we discussed a year ago how woefully inadequate, I don't know if it was Harwich Elementary or both elementary schools, were for, and I don't think it was just the teachers' computers, I think it was students, and that's not on here that I can see.
Well, that's because this year, we got money to replace the computer labs in the elementary schools.
That was part of the FY15 budget, was to go.
That's what
and
we're doing right
we
now.
cut back the
Time.
technology infusion that we were gonna do for the elementary schools. So we were just focusing on the computer labs and then, I think it's in the upcoming week or right now,
Yes.
they're swapping out and putting in new computers in the computer labs. But we talked about it was going to be sort of year one of a multi-year
Yes.
thing. This is catching the other parts. This is going into the classrooms now and replacing the classroom technology.
So, because I remember the discussion about going into a classroom and there being 4 computers and only one of the 4 working.
Well, that's all been resolved, that's what we worked on this year and over the summer, so
That
it's,
wasn't the labs, that was,
That's the netbooks. That was the netbook solution.
you went and
The
put
handy
netbooks in there instead of
Right.
the computers.
so they have 4, I have pictures, I wish I
Is it
had
every
them.
single-
Small laptops.
Every single classroom has 4 laptops for the students, and
Is
they've
that
been working great.
Is that Unified Arts and,
If they wanted them, yes.
okay,
We have them in special ed classrooms, everywhere because we had plenty. That's in Harwich Elementary. In Chatham Elementary, they have an end computing system, which is 1 computer with 4 monitors.
yes.
So that's what they have. What we're doing this week, and we bought 50 new all-in-ones for the students. They're beautiful 23-inch screens for the elementary students, 25 for each elementary school, 25 in each lab. They're being installed over Christmas, so when the children come back on January 2nd or 3rd, whatever it is, they'll have all new computers in their labs.
So there'll be
Right.
enough for a teacher to bring her classroom in there?
There's going to be 24. There's 24 for the students and 1 for the teacher.
Okay.
Minecraft will work a lot better on those.
It's beautiful. They're a little bit different than these, but they're the same size. They're very similar to what you see behind you. They just have a little bit more ports because they have robotics they have to put in, and so they have a little bit different.
So will that translate to this year, our kids having enough practice to take the park and be proficient enough? So
Oh,
that's not-
besides that, I'm glad you mentioned that. We have, like it's the game show. We
Behind
have,
us.
we have 72 Chromebooks that are coming any moment. They're the smaller Chromebooks, and 24 for each school. The Chatham Elementary, Harwich Elementary, and the middle school with a cart. So we're going to be able to start having the students go from classroom to classroom, so they get used to using the Chromebooks before the park testing. So they've already been ordered. They're running a little late getting them to us because they've been in such demand that everybody's buying the Chromebooks. But they were ordered about 6 weeks ago, so hopefully they'll be here in a moment. So each school is going to get 24 new Chromebooks in a cart, and the elementary schools have 2 new labs. And by middle of January, it'll be all done.
Thank you very much, that's reassuring.
Nancy?
I'm not sure if I'm gonna ask this question properly or if it'll make sense. Going back to a leasing option, if you did 80 So look, and then also looking at that spreadsheet. So in your fiscal year 16, you'd buy 80 for the elementary schools.
Yes,
So using round numbers, 21, a leasing would be 21,000 per year. So then if you go into fiscal year 17, then you'd be purchasing 40 more. So that would be adding an additional leasing option
that would be
cost to
correct.
it? So that would, okay.
That would be for the middle school
And
staff.
then the next one would be the high school.
The high school would be a few years away. We don't feel like the high school would need to be done until
Fiscal year 18?
fiscal year 19, 20, hopefully. Wait a minute, I'm sorry.
No, it
You're
shows
right.
in
You're right, the year
17,
before.
17.
The year before.
Yeah. So basically, we'd be building up, and then once we got to fiscal year 18, that would be the set amount every year for
Replacement of all the staff laptops,
all the time.
yes. So that's something that the finance people need to think about. Just want to throw that. It's a consideration. It would help a little bit. It would probably cut down, I don't know, 20 to 30,000 a year in our capital plan or something along those lines.
Debbie, my question, in another life, during summers, I was a hood milkman, and on the route, they gave us it's amazing. Golden Guernsey. They gave us a shrinkage, breakage, and spillage budget within the truck, so if I drank too much milk on the run. I'd be interested, with hundreds of these units throughout the district now, and our last probably 2 years now, what's the care and comfort of these? The kids are so well-trained with them at home. Do we have a maintenance budget that would say 3 are broken? As far as warranted and that?
I figured that replacement and warranty that we have to pay out of, that's not covered by maintenance, is part of my operating budget, and I kind of have a certain amount, percentage per year, to cover things that are not covered